Hi everyone, this is Daniel.
And I'm Jun.
And we are
Korean
American.
Hey Daniel.
Hey Jun.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, it is Valentine's Day.
It's Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
And you cut your hair.
Oh, I did, yeah.
I kind of noticed last time when we met, but you were wearing your
I had a
baseball
hat
cap.
on. Yeah. It's a throwback, June, to this is how my hair was for probably my entire 20s and
Wait,
30s.
but you said that you're going to do all sorts of experiments.
Yeah, so okay, June, this time I went to the hair salon.
You go to a barber?
Hair salon. They're all the same to me.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think in Korea they use English and like they kind of like fancy it up and make it into a different category.
Yeah.
Like a barber shop. It's just a barber shop in English, right?
Yeah.
But pabo shop, when you say pabo shop,
Oh,
there's like
it's a very specific thing.
yeah, we're like the hair cutters are like all suited up. They're
that
kind of like
yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean?
Old school vibe.
Yeah, like wooden interiors and stuff like that.
The single blade shave.
Exactly. And like the leather chair things. And I've seen a lot of it around the area, so I was wondering if you actually went to the quote unquote pabo shop.
Oh no, I did not. To be fair, that connotation of barbershops exists in the US too a little bit.
Oh, it does.
But yeah, I don't think it's not adhered to very strictly, I'd say.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But no, I just go to a hair salon. The guy I've been going to, I really like him. And then today I showed him a picture because we had mentioned on a previous episode one of those Squid Game characters. My friend thought I looked like him. And so I showed them a picture of that haircut and said, make it look like this. Which now, I will concede, I look nothing like that Korean actor.
Honestly, you don't.
I don't.
Sorry.
But yeah, it's also a throwback to just how my hair used to be. Again, for all my 20s and 30s, it was just short. I would say this is like the most classic.
I mean, your
Asian
hairstyle
American
just
male.
looks like mine now.
Yeah, it's just a classic.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
The first thing my wife said when I walked in was like, "Oh, finally, you're going back to just normal hair."
Oh, she didn't like it? I thought she liked your Korean haircut.
I mean, she'll always support whatever I do, but I think she says this is how I look best. So
Yeah.
I guess we should at least just mention the Super Bowl. Congratulations to all the Philadelphia Eagles fans for winning the Super Bowl.
Congrats.
What a blowout.
So on Monday morning, because the Super Bowl's on Sunday evening for America, so it's Monday morning. Daniel gracefully offered me to join his gang to this bar where they would broadcast live the Super Bowl in Itaewon. I didn't know this bar existed. So I used, I don't know if like some of my colleagues are going to listen to this podcast, but whatever. I used the pancha.
You took a half day off work.
I took a half day off work.
Use your precious vacation hours.
Yeah, I was debating for a very long time whether I should go or not, but I was like, whatever. It's worth more than a half day of work. That's what I thought. So I went. I'm always up for new experiences. Yeah. So I went to this bar in Itaewon. It was like Monday at 8:30 a.m. Right?
Oh, doors opened at 7, June. It was immediately filled. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was stunned by the fact that there's so many people who are willing to not go to work on a Monday morning because the bar was packed. It felt like a Saturday night. I was like, what are all these people doing here on the Monday morning, drinking their beer and like just chilling, watching Super Bowl. But yeah, it was my first experience, I think, if I could remember. I mean, I must have watched the Super Bowl, but I was never invited to like a legit like
Super Bowl event or
sports
party.
Bar or a party. Yeah,
I invited you because I wanted you to do some research.
Yeah.
And to get your take as a Korean.
I did have some takes, yeah. do you want me to talk about it?
No. Okay. I don't. We'll cover it in another episode, I think. But yeah, honestly, you can't call yourself an American if you haven't gone to Super Bowl party. This was also my first time ever watching it at a bar. Yeah. Because we generally host every year a Super Bowl party or get together. So we're always watching at my home and we're having people come over. So it was a good experience for me too.
So To be honest with you, I didn't know the rules of American football, so I had to like ChatGPT it a little bit.
A lot of people don't.
ChatGPT, by the way, was amazing.
Amazing.
In explaining the rules to me, so I kind of knew.
Yeah.
And I always thought that American football, the rules are too complicated for you to like really enjoy. Because I personally think that simplicity is the best. Like the complications that like the complexity that comes out from a very simple rule is what's beautiful. Like the game of Go or like
soccer.
European soccer. How do you call it? Like,
football. Yeah.
It's very simple.
Very simple.
And like the sophistication that comes from that very basic rule is what's beautiful.
Yeah.
But in my personal taste, American football is like very complicated to begin with. And but what I was trying to say is after knowing the rule a little bit, I kind of get it.
You could get into it more.
Yeah, I kind of get why it's exciting. Yeah. So I appreciated it.
Yeah. We won't get into it. I'll just say, the Super Bowl in America, I do think it is the biggest cultural event of the year. More than Thanksgiving, more than Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I said football and Thanksgiving go hand in hand.
What about the Grammys or the Oscars?
No, Super Bowl, so much bigger.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm glad you got that experience, and hope to talk about it more in depth in a future episode.
Their food was legit, I thought.
Oh yeah, the bar food there was quite good.
Yeah,
I was impressed.
I was kind of craving for that buffalo wing thing, and then you ordered it.
Yeah. Oh, then you had one.
Yeah, I had one.
You know, those wings are not. You can't find them. What do you even call them in Korea? Buffalo wings.
Buffalo wings, but it's not that, like that I love that kind of like tangy
super
sauce.
Salty.
Yeah.
The bar food there was really good, I will say.
Oh, you have to mention
we're getting too deep.
Yeah, the
cinnamon, what was it, Cosell Dark?
It was a Cosell Dark
with cinnamon,
which is one of my favorite beers, by the way. But then they had like they like have like sugary cinnamon powder on the rims.
Yeah, so just like when you drink tequila, they'll rim it with salt, right?
Yeah.
When I ordered the Cosell Dark for the table, the waitress / bartender was like, "Oh, would you like cinnamon on the top?" And I was like, "Cinnamon on beer? Is that common?" And she was like, her specific words were, quote, "Yeah, in Korea they do it different." And so, every Westerner complains about how Koreans put sugar into everything.
Yeah.
So again, this fits that mold. They literally put sugar into the beer.
Yeah.
but
it made sense though.
It was good.
Yeah.
I will admit it was pretty good.
Like it's kind of like dark chocolate and cinnamon. It can't go bad.
Yeah.
It's
But it was definitely something I've never had before.
Yeah, let's definitely cover this in a separate episode.
Yeah.
So it was a very interesting experience. It's definitely the first for me. So thank you for inviting me.
Jun, I think your American meter went up half a.
Now I'm like a 2.7. You got a 0.25 by attending a Super Bowl party
and understanding the rules of football.
It was extra American feeling because of all the ads too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's like there's something about ads when you watch ads like you immediately transition into that culture. Yeah. Anyways,
Jun, this coffee is really good.
It is, right?
Yeah. Where'd you get it from? Because you told me this morning, don't bring your coffee like you usually do.
Yeah.
I got something for you.
Yes.
Yeah. What is this?
This is a very interesting coffee brand that is newly launched.
Oh, okay.
It is famously called Kimley Park.
Kimley Park. Just like the three surnames combined?
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
but they don't exactly write it that way. They write it as like Kim, KIMLYPARC.
Got it.
I kind of like that twist.
Yeah.
Kind of like making it a little bit less obvious and mysterious. Yeah. But I think it definitely came from that, right? Kimley Park.
Yeah.
Do you know what a mixed coffee is?
Of course.
Mixed coffee.
Mixed coffee. Yeah.
Okay, so it's not a mixed coffee. It's a mixed coffee. Because it's a different genre.
Yeah.
So, like how back in the days, I think even in America, you have your coffee, you put like a bit of cream and some sugar. And it makes it into like this very milky, kind of smooth tasting latte kind of thing. And Koreans love that, right? And so they, because they love efficiency, they made it into like a dry powder thing and make it into an instant mixed coffee.
Yeah.
The famous brands is like Maxim, stuff like that, right? Like those like packet things, right?
Yeah.
They're like the famous Korean office coffee.
Yes.
Thing.
Yeah. You know them if you ever watched a Korean drama.
Yeah.
There's always like, the mixed coffee PPL or whatever.
So I think Kimley Park was very smart enough to think that, this is like a Hallyu thing that we can export.
Oh.
So they double down on that. They call it the original Korean latte.
Okay.
They rebranded it.
Yeah.
And made it into like a fancy and healthy Korean instant coffee brand. Okay. So
Jun, you seem to know a lot about this. Like, why do you know so much about Kimley Park?
Because they're sponsoring us. Finally, we're getting rid of your product here, and this is okay. Yeah, I love their branding. It's very modern. So they have 3 different types of coffee. One is, I think this is their flagship, original Korean latte, the one that I just explained about.
And that's what I'm drinking, right?
Yeah, where it has like the coffee and then like the milky thing.
Milk? What's the milky?
The reason why I'm
creamer.
Trying not to say milk is because they somehow perfected the taste of it without actually having milk in it.
Oh.
So if you're vegan, this is actually a vegan latte, which is pretty amazing.
Not only vegan, but lactose intolerant, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, because I always question how Koreans can put milk in their drinks. Yeah.
And everything is just inside one packet. If you open it up, it's just in this like one packet. And then you just put in this powder in your cup and just pour hot water and you're done.
Yeah.
And also, they have other types, such as the craft instant espresso, which is the one that I'm drinking. And they say that this is kind of insane. They extract it shot by shot, and then they freeze dried it into a packet. That's why I think they call it craft instant espresso. They're also using specialty beans.
Yeah.
And so their flavor and aroma is better preserved, which I can speak to because I did try many different types of instant coffee, which is not the mixed coffee type, just the Americano like espresso type.
Yeah.
And what I really like about this one is that a lot of the times, for some reason, I like coffee when it's more acidic. The acidic type, like the more light roasted, if you will. But most of the time, the instant coffees are more dark roasted. But this one has like very good acidic taste to it. So if you like, for the Korean audience, it's called like the sanmi in coffee, the acidic taste. This is your perfect thing to drink. And
Jun, I'm a simple man. Like I think most Americans. It's just good coffee. And it's so convenient.
It is
literally
convenient.
You just rip the package, add water, mix, and enjoy. Yeah. I know a lot of people who are really into coffee. They even have their own espresso machine at home. Right? But for me, I just like the simplicity of not having to have any of that equipment. You just need to boil water somehow. Add it to this and you can have really high quality, fast, and I'd say probably affordable compared to the quality you get coffee. So
especially for people who have to have their coffee a day when they're like commuting or at the office. Famously, it was on the news. Starbucks finally increased their price for the famous Americano. So if you really want your cup of coffee at your office, I think this is a very good option. And so for the American audience, you can get Kimley Park at kimleypark.com with a special discount promo code exclusively to our listeners, KAP. So with your discount code KAP, you can get 20% off from kimleypark.com. And also for the Korean listeners, this is also listed up at Naver Smart Store. So if you could just type in Kimley Park Korean, and you can definitely get it from your Naver Smart Store as well.
Jun, I was going to set you up with, where can I get this, Jun?
Sorry. I just rambled on.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
Jun, I love the name Kimley Park. So in English, li, when you add ly to something, it turns into an adverb.
Yeah.
So it's describing something, right? Or how you go about doing something. So Kim, I know the hanja for Kim because it's my last name, your last name as well. It means gold.
Gold, yes.
So like luxurious, right? It's something luxuriously doing something.
Yeah.
What is it doing? Li, the hanja for that, the Chinese character is plum tree.
Plum, yeah.
Yeah. Which symbolizes endurance, purity, and resilience.
Ah.
So I would say this is luxuriously pure.
It is.
It is.
It is. They use really good ingredients. Like even the salt here is like the Himalayan pink salt.
Crazy. They did not skimp on ingredients.
Yeah.
The final part, park, in hanja, this means what?
Park is gourd.
Yeah. So I think it symbolizes simplicity. So this is luxuriously pure, simple coffee.
Oh.
I think it's really meaningful. I don't know if they thought of this too, but it's genius.
It is genius.
Jun, the final thing I'll say, I really like the feel of this brand and coffee. It's kind of retro, right?
Yeah.
When you think about mixed coffee, I think of the Korean restaurants I went to growing up. After the meal, they have like that mixed coffee machine.
Yes.
Right? And like that's what completes the meal in Korea.
Yeah.
I feel like retro in general is really kind of trending, not only in Korea, but in general. Do you get that feeling too?
Yeah, I think it's like the millennium, like late 90s to early 2000s vibe, I think.
Yeah.
It's really weird. I think I already mentioned this sometime before. To like, it's the first time in my life where I'm like seeing a comeback of something that I lived before. I just feel like very amazed and also feel very old.
It can only mean one thing, Jun. Yeah, we are getting old.
A lot of things that are happening or like trending these days are like things that I've seen when I was little. Anyways, so today we're going to talk about trends.
Yeah, the perfect lead in, Jun, to the theme of our episode today.
Yeah.
Of trends.
Yes.
Let's do it. We alluded to it previously when we were doing the news episode.
Yeah.
Because one of the news things we want to cover was 2025 trend predictions. But we decided we should dedicate a full episode to it.
So to be clear, this is one of our recurring episodes where we do it in a certain cadence. And I'm like super pumped about this episode because the last trends episode was, I think I picked it as one of my favorite episodes of last year.
Lucky Vicky, right?
Lucky Vicky. Yeah. So I have categorized the trends of today into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 categories.
6?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's start with...
Wait, I only know... What are the categories? I would guess food, fashion, and language. But what other things are there?
It's like
technology.
Tech.
Okay.
Culture.
Oh, culture.
And finance.
Ooh, all right. I like it. Okay. Let's start with... Do you care what to start with?
No, you pick.
Food.
Okay, food. So for food, I'll start with the obvious one because we already covered in our episode. It's the Hukbeng Yorisa trend. Was like Culinary Class Wars.
Yeah.
So that was a very, very sensationally popular Netflix, what do you call it, like competition show?
Cooking show.
Yeah, the cooking show. It was like a phenomenal success. And after that, like they came up with like all these merchandises, franchises, like all of those chefs that appeared on that show, like their restaurants are going crazy. I heard that they're booked for like years maybe. And they also collaborate with a lot of like convenience stores and like food brands come up with their own things. So I see a lot of like this Hukbeng Yorisa branded things everywhere in Korea. So that's definitely a trend these days.
Is there one in particular? I was gonna guess chestnut tiramisu.
Oh, the chestnut tiramisu and like the
I see that everywhere.
Yeah, and like the bread thing that the one who won. Is this a spoiler?
No, we can spoil it. Yeah, we've already spoiled it before.
Napoli Mafia.
Yeah.
He like collaborates with a lot of brands.
Okay.
And like the makgeolli, the chame makgeolli.
chame makgeolli.
What's his name? Edward Lee?
Kim? Yeah, Edward Lee.
Yeah. The thing he made, that they made it into like a branded thing.
Oh, I haven't tried that yet.
Yeah. I think they sell it in the 편의점s. So everything like 흑백 요리사 is a trend these days.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know if this is like a very recent trend, but there's this word that everyone starts talking about recently.
Food related.
Okay. Which is called the 혈당 스파이크.
혈당 spike. No idea what this means.
Blood sugar spike. So everyone's like 혈당 spike.
Okay.
Whenever they like
drink something sugary or eat something sugary?
Drink eat something sugary. They'll say like, oh, 혈당 spike. And it's because I think it came from like that. I don't know how to call it in English. 연속 혈당 측정기, like the continuous blood sugar tracking device thing.
Oh, is that going viral in Korea?
Yeah, people do that a lot.
Tracking their blood sugar?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So there's like this device thing where it's like connected to your phone through like Bluetooth or whatever. You have like this like patch thing that you would attach to your side of your arm.
Yeah.
And it'll just continuously track your blood sugar level.
Why are people... I mean, this... I might be wrong.
Yeah.
But that makes complete sense if you have something like diabetes or you're concerned about your health. But the way you're saying it is just like random people are just putting this patch to monitor their blood sugar throughout the day.
For some reason, recently it's become like this, almost like a demonic thing to like make your body sugar spike.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that's not good.
They say that if your blood sugar spikes, then you have like excess excretion of insulin. And if you have that, it'll just like drop your blood sugar level drastically, and then you'll feel fatigue, and then you'll feel more hungry, and then you tend to eat more. So it's basically just related to obesity. Like you don't want to get fat.
I see.
Kind of.
It all comes back to physical appearance.
So everything's just like about blood sugar spiking these days. Like 혈당 spike.
I see.
People say that like you should eat your veggies first before you eat your like carbs or meat.
Because it'll fill you up?
That will prevent your blood sugar from spiking. I actually see a lot of people like eating their veggies first. So it's like this buzzword 혈당 spike is definitely is trend these days. Yeah. Do you have anything to add on to this?
I mean, everyone knows, sugar rush, crash, right? Like crash after. Like that's a well-known phenomena. But the idea that people would start tracking it, I think is a bit, to me, sounds excessive.
I see. So this is what I heard. Everyone reacts to food differently. And so it's just good to know that what causes your blood sugar to spike. And you don't even have to have it for a very long time. Just like monitor it for a month or so. So you understand what are things that you're more immune to? What are things that would tend to make your blood sugar spike more? And like start kind of avoiding that to have like a more healthier lifestyle.
It's a good. I'm all
it's
for.
Not a bad thing.
I'm all for mindful consumption. And in general, this whole category of like biohacking. Like understanding exactly what you're eating, how your body is made, like composed, body fat, etc. I think all that's great. I just think what you just said sounds extreme though. I mean, I want to do it. Like I want to wear a patch around and just track it throughout the day. It's kind of fun. It reminds me of at our home in the US, we got the Tesla basically solar panels installed. And you can use on your app, you can see exactly how much electricity you're generating, exactly how much you're spending, and how much you're saving at any given moment. I can just look at that thing all day long. It's kind of fun to watch, right? So I think this is similar. And, as someone who loves data, I think it's cool. You
know what my like technological fantasy is?
What?
If I can somehow track everything that I do, like not only like blood sugar levels or like whatever solar panel energy that it's making, like whatever steps that I'm taking every day, everything data, and like make it into like a dashboard thing
that you can see at any moment.
Just monitor. That's my technological fantasy.
I don't think we're that. I think that is in the near future going to be very possible and maybe even common standard.
And then make the AI synthesize all data and make me, help me make the best decisions of everything that I do. Wouldn't that be amazing?
No.
No.
Too much of a good thing, Jun. Why do you want an AI to make every decision for you in your life?
Because sometimes I feel like, let's say if I'm making some random decision, I feel like some type of information that you might think that is not related to your decision that you're making is related to what you're doing. For instance, when you're making a financial investment, I think that has to do with like many different factors of your life, like maybe like your childhood or like your tendency to do something. And if like I can somehow synthesize all the data that I produced and help me make the best decision, that would be amazing.
Jun, that AI is called your brain.
My brain.
That's what it's doing.
The model is a very cheap model. My brain is that AI.
Okay.
Anyways.
Yeah, what's the other food trend you mentioned?
There's one more food trend. You know how like a couple years ago, all of a sudden, when you go into a convenience store or supermarket, all you see is 0, 0, 0.
Yes. Zero sugar.
Yeah. The new trend is now protein.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Have you noticed that if you go to a convenience store and you look at like the refrigerated section, all you see is like protein.
I have not noticed this, but what I did notice, Jun, was like 2 years ago. Do you remember? The sparkling water or whatever at the office where we used to work, we commented on the protein like added sparkling water.
Oh, yes.
And then even our, fan of the pod and close friend of the pod, AM, was like, Korea's amazing. Like, this is going to be a huge thing in the US too, because everyone's trying to add protein to get stronger, right? Yeah. So you're saying it finally reached the mainstream now. Protein everywhere.
But I feel like this was already a thing in the US a long time ago. Oh. Like, it was very... Because people are more into like fitness. Gym culture is more of like a mainstream in the US. So there are a lot of like energy protein drinks. But Korea, there weren't a lot.
Is that true? I think in the US, at least, most of my friends who are into tracking this and, fitness and everything, they just do protein shakes.
Yeah.
So it's just protein powder they'll mix themselves.
But see
incorporating
like
protein into like different consumer goods, that I don't think is super common.
Really?
Yeah. They either have like a protein bar, they make their own protein shake from protein powder, or that's it. That's where they get their protein from.
So what I see a lot in 편의점s these days is like that ready-made like protein shake thing.
Okay.
That you can drink. Yeah, I actually have it in the fridge.
Are you trying to bulk, Jun?
It's just like, I think it's just a trend for people to try to be more healthier.
Oh, okay.
Like track your blood sugar and like try to eat more protein.
But specifically more muscular, I think.
Oh, is that a trend?
In Korea, right? I feel like that's been trending over the last 5 years. Yeah, bulking up a little bit.
This is what I heard that because when I was growing up, hitting the gym was like a grown-up thing.
Like you don't old people do.
Not like old people per se, but like after you go to college, kind of. You start going to the gym.
Yeah.
But I heard these days, like middle schoolers, high schoolers, like they hit the gym regularly, which is a very good thing. Yeah.
I think everything in moderation. Obviously, the downside is if younger people feel too self-conscious or too into their body looks, they compare themselves to those Instagram people who are like bodybuilders or taking steroids or whatever and trying to get to look like that. It can be unhealthy. But again, I agree. In general, trying to be healthier, stronger, and aware of your body is a good thing. Yeah.
Okay. That was the end of the food theme.
Okay. I wanted to know like what food actually is trending, but there's not like a new food that's like hot or whatever.
Oh, like the bagels last time?
Or I feel like there's always like a flavor or like a thing that's like happening right now. But we did name one, the chestnut tiramisu. I do see that everywhere.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I see it in random places.
Maybe I'm off the trend these days, but I didn't notice like a very specific flavor or type of food.
Okay.
I think everyone's just trying to be the next like bagel. They're trying new things.
They're trying to find the new bagel.
But there weren't anything that was as sensational as the bagel trend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Another one from before, I remember like I noticed Earl Grey highballs were everywhere, or highballs in general as a cocktail.
That was trending
years ago.
Yeah, years ago.
Couple years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we tackled food trends. Let's move on to fashion.
Okay, fashion. Do you know this word called...
I mean, no, I don't know. I already know I won't know.
It's an English word, though.
I still won't know.
Demure.
Yeah, demure. Okay. Like classy, but kind of mysterious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's become like a buzzword in Korean fashion.
Oh, really?
Demure.
I don't know why I'm laughing at this.
Demure.
Okay.
So explain to me what demure means.
Yeah, it's kind of like mysterious, classy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say like definitely what's like higher end, but a little bit playful.
Yeah.
In a sense. But yeah, mysterious is how I primarily define it.
How I understood demure through researching.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong.
It's more like subdued, not like very flashing your brand or whatever.
Maybe you're right.
Yeah. It's classy, but more subdued kind of.
Yeah.
In Korean, it's like more 차분한.
Mm-hmm. The textbook definition is reserved, modest, and shy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like something you want but can't have. That's why I think it's more mysterious a little bit. Yeah.
So I think it's more... Yeah, it's just more subdued, but want to be classy. I think it goes hand in hand with... There was a trend with like this old money look.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah, where you don't flash the brand, but it is actually a very expensive thing.
Yeah. Laurel piano, right? Or Laurel.
Yeah, whatever that.
That's
like,
the flagship for that style.
Yeah, that kind of style. I think it goes hand in hand with that, but a little bit like less flashy, I guess.
And more modest.
demure.
Okay.
Is the keyword for fashion, and this is something that I noticed a lot in public spaces or like especially like subways. People are wearing, I think this is on the retro theme.
Okay.
Everyone's wearing UGGs these days.
Oh, yeah.
The UGG brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's been a while. I don't know if I've noticed a spike.
Yeah.
I do notice UGGs are very popular in Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's wearing UGGs.
Okay,
Especially I think it's popular amongst the females.
Yeah.
If I sit on a subway station, you see like the row across you, and you can see like the rows of the shoes, right?
Yeah.
You see like UGG.
Yeah, UGGs. I guess for me, I associate it with almost like Crocs in that you're prioritizing comfort and it's still whatever semi-fashionable.
Crocs are not semi-fashionable.
In Korea, I feel like Koreans wear them everywhere, so I was surprised.
I don't think it's for fashion though. Is
just
it?
Straight comfort.
Yeah.
Okay. But UGGs for me was that, right? I think it was really popular, let's say, amongst the younger age groups.
Yeah.
Let's say like teenagers, maybe young 20s. But in Korea, everyone's wearing UGGs.
Yeah.
All ages.
Yes.
And with it, they wear it with all types of clothes. Like you're dressing up fancy, UGGs.
Yeah.
Super casual, UGGs.
Yeah.
It's just like the everyday shoe. So
yes.
I like it in the sense that you're prioritizing comfort over, let's say, looks. But also everyone knows UGGs are kind of expensive. So
they are? Yeah. Oh, okay.
They're not like, I think Crocs, they're not like Crocs in that they're not super cheap. I would call them a mid to high brand.
Have you ever had UGGs?
No, I haven't.
It looks super warm though.
They look so comfortable.
Yeah. Anyways.
I've never owned a pair of Crocs either, so.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was demure and then UGGs.
Yeah.
Moving on to the 꾸 series. 꾸? 꾸.
Is this also fashion?
Kind of.
꾸?
Yeah.
Okay. 쌍기역.
쌍기역.
산기역.
Yeah.
꾸.
Yeah.
꾸.
꾸 is short for 꾸미기. Like you decorate something. So something 꾸. I see a lot of these in trend.
Like DIY?
Kind of like, so it started from, I think the very original one was called 닭꾸.
Okay.
다이어리 꾸미기.
다이어리 꾸미기? Yeah.
It's when... Like,
tie-dye?
No, like your diary.
Oh, diary.
But like, there was a trend where people buy physical diaries.
Yeah.
Diary books. And they decorate it with like stickers on. Like,
okay.
like color it and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's in trend.
That was a trend. I don't think that's a current trend, but that was like a thing that people do.
Okay.
닭꾸.
Yeah.
And then 백꾸.
100?
Oh, your bag.
Oh, bag. Oh, bag.
Have you seen like people attaching like these little small doll thingies on your bag?
Yeah,
I think this is like a 90s like retro thing again.
Yeah.
But like that's like a 백꾸.
Okay.
People like attach things,
Their
DIY
bags,
things to their bags, that 백꾸. And it extends over to like 슈꾸 or like
Shoes,
or 신고, 신발. where like they put like little decorative things on their laces and stuff like that. That's a thing. So the Gu series,
I like it.
Is a fashion.
It's a way that you can express your individuality.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
But it's so ironic to me in a sense. It's because it's supposed to be very individualistic, but in Korea it's translated into like a trend thing where everyone just has to do it kind of. So it's kind of anti-individualistic in a sense too.
Well, my question would be, does everyone end up getting the same? Does everyone customize it in the same way?
Kind of.
Or does everyone pick their own unique thing? So
have you ever seen like a bag Gu and feel that, oh, that's very special, or like, because they all look the same,
kind of generic?
I'm pretty sure that it's not the same doll.
Yeah.
Not the exactly same doll, but it's just like feels the same.
So Jun, do you know what a gibbet is?
A gibbet?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
It's with Crocs, the little thing.
Oh, that thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also a shinku or
shinku.
shuku.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those are called gibbets, and I think it's just extending that to anything.
Exactly.
Now that you mention it, I have noticed, people with like a very nice bag, like a luxury bag, with like a little small stuffy keychain, furry thing attached to it. Yeah, I've noticed that more.
Yeah. That's a trend.
The other thing I'll add on is at my kids also, but at the bus stop I see them all lined up with their book bags.
Yeah. They all
the collection of like keychains. Yeah. It started off with 1, 2. Now my daughter's keychain bundle is like 20 keychains. It's crazy.
It's becoming bigger than the bag itself.
And they're not small. Some of them are like literally stuffed animals.
Yeah.
So she just has this massive bundle of keychain. And I think I see it with a lot of the kids. So.
But was it also a trend in the 90s in the US? Because it definitely was in Korea.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if this is a retro thing, but I think it's cute. I like it.
It's so weird to see it.
Come back.
Yeah. Anyways, okay, so that's the end of fashion.
Cool.
Demure, Uggs, and then the Gu series.
What did you say for Gu? The customization. Is that how you described it? It's more just adding decorations to things.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. All right, let's move on to technology. I know this one.
Yeah.
AI.
AI. It's AI everything. AI.
Yeah.
But this is, I think, more of a global trend than a Korean trend.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot to say.
Okay. Nothing besides AI.
Everyone's trying to incorporate AI. I mean, there was a huge like disruptive news recently in AI with like DeepSeek. It's like very quickly went away, which was an interesting point of its own.
Is Naver search, in the US, there's lots of news of like, search is going to be disrupted.
Yeah.
Is Naver search that ubiquitous? And are they also getting disrupted by, people interfacing with, let's say, LLMs or GPTs?
Yeah, of course they must be affected by the LLMs. But I think Naver especially had a very unique positioning, even when Google was trending in Korea, because they claimed, and it is partially true, that they search for Naver for different information that they will for Google. For instance, like if you're going to search for knowledge or like scholarly knowledge, especially, or like anything related to more, I guess, knowledge in general, you would search in Google. But like more lifestyle related things.
That's what Naver's for.
Yeah, like searching for blogs and stuff like that. That's what Naver's for. And they intentionally positioned themselves as like a competitive advantage to Google. And that's in that sense, I think it's a little bit more durable in the current AI landscape than Google is.
I see.
Also, Naver is like not only a search engine, they're like a shopping portal, they're like contents and all that. And they have their own LLM. I don't know if you knew.
I mean, I never use Naver search, so that's part of my question. When I use Google now, they put Gemini, the AI response, at the top everywhere. And that's often all I want. I don't actually search for the website hits.
Yeah.
Is it the same with Naver? Are they putting like an AI response at the top? And are you finding that's more valuable than the actual like link hits below?
I am pretty sure they're doing it.
Do you use Naver search daily?
Because whatever they do isn't original. Yeah.
Come on. I mean, it's a good question. Do you use Naver search daily?
I only use it for like matchup
Okay, for food recommendations.
Restaurant recommendations, which is like exactly what they're positioning for, more like lifestyle searching kind of. Yeah. Or like more Korean specific, I would search Naver.
I see.
Yeah. But if I'm like going to search for what demure means, I'm not going to search on Naver. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Well, what's interesting is that now I rarely use Google too. So I search everything on ChatGPT.
Yeah, for me, it's still reflex. Like my browser opens up to Google, whatever, when I open up a new window. So sometimes I'm just like new window search rather than having to find the ChatGPT tab.
Oh, you don't have this ChatGPT
app
installed?
For some reason, I'm still not. My habits haven't changed yet, so that I still do open up Chrome and then type in a search term rather than looking for the ChatGPT app or whatever app and opening that to ask. So yeah.
Cool.
Any other tech trends besides AI? No foldables, nothing. Wearables?
No.
Apple Watches are not that big here.
Apple Watch?
Yeah, I feel like it's bigger in the US.
I think a lot of people wear Apple Watches.
Here too?
Yeah.
But how about like, you did mention, I feel like the patch to track your blood sugar, that's technology related.
Yeah.
Do you think biohacking overall is something that's trending in the tech space here? Like tracking counts, like step counts, using the Apple Watch to track your health stuff throughout the day.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a recent trend per se, but people do that. Like even people who aren't, I mean, there's like the Samsung, I don't know what they call it, Galaxy Watch. Maybe.
Yeah, Galaxy Watch.
Or like, I see a lot of old people wearing Xiaomi tracking things. Yeah, to track their whatever, everything.
I do have one tech trend I noticed. It was in line with the running boom here. Specifically, there's this brand of open ear headphones called Shocks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be like conductive
sound. They call it.
It's everywhere too.
Yeah. Oh, that is true. That's a trend.
And I think you're supposed to wear it when running because the conductive technology makes it easier to hear. But I see especially old people just wearing it around everywhere, like their AirPods.
it's better for your hearing, I think.
Oh, it doesn't damage your eardrums.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see this everywhere too.
But it does kind of look. Yeah, it kind of looks like an old person thing. Yeah.
All right, cool. We hit food, fashion, and technology. Let's go to language next.
Yeah, there's only one for language that I realized. Like, there's a trend word.
Okay.
I don't even know how to pronounce this correctly, but 늦었. This is probably how they pronounce it. 늦었.
Okay. Like late?
늦었. It's just like, it's a Korean word.
What's it mean? Is it a 줄임말?
Yeah, it's short for 느낌 좋은, like good feeling.
Oh, okay.
늦었.
늦었. You just say like I feel good?
It's like
use it in context, June.
늦었 카페. Like
it's like a cool vibe cafe.
Or like a 늦었 남자.
Yeah.
Or like anything they just put 늦었 in front of it. It's a Gen Z.
If you generally like something, you could say like 늦었 X.
Or like it's like I think it's like vibing kind of good vibes.
늦었
coffee.
Instant coffee.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so that's the one thing that I realized with language.
Yeah.
And so I'll transition into culture.
Okay.
Because this is kind of related to language as well. You might probably know this. Do you know what teeny ping is?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Of course.
Catch teeny ping. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
It's a animated series. I would say targeted mostly at, 5 to 8 year old girls. Yeah. But it's huge. Wait, why?
Again, this is how I realize how different our lives is. Because I'm like, what the hell is catch teeny ping? And you're like, of course I know this.
No, June, even in what's the mall? Pamias Mall north of here?
Yeah.
There's an entire teeny ping like museum. It's like a teeny ping experience.
So it's a children's 3D type of animation thing, right?
3D, it's just animated. Yeah, it's an animated TV show.
Oh, it's not 3D. It doesn't look 2D to me.
Wait, what do you mean 3D?
It looks kind of like the Pixar type thing. It's not like your Looney Tune type cartoon.
I don't think it's particularly Pixar-y to me. But
is it? I've never watched it, sorry. But the graphics, from the graphics, it looks like kind of 3D-ish.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Oh, maybe you're right. Yeah.
But I'm surprised that it's originally from Korea.
Yeah.
It's a Korean animation.
Yeah.
Is there an equivalent in the US?
Oh, I'm sure they are. I mean, it's just like, so there's so many like this, right? Like Paw Patrol. I think that's like a US equivalent. But yeah, it's almost like Pokemon.
Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, Powerpuff Girls. Yeah, it's just like that.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like Pokemon too, in that there's someone trying to catch all of the, again, the show is specifically called Catch Teeny Ping. They're trying to catch all of the Teeny Ping. So it's very Pokemon-esque.
Oh, is that?
But let's say targeted towards females more than, girls more than boys.
I see.
But I think I was talking with another Korean American friend on this. It's very much made for profiting. So they're constantly, in the sense that they're constantly releasing new ones. It's all about collecting them. So you can never have all of them. And it's like, oh, I want all 100 Teeny Pings, right?
Oh, they have, I see.
And, each one has their own name and their own power. And their own
now
style.
I get it. Now I get why the language thing is... Oh, but I'll get to it later.
Yeah, keep going. But yeah, why is this a cultural thing?
I don't know. I just like...
Oh, it's huge.
Because I realized there's like a language buzz where everyone, like people will call themselves something ping.
Oh, something. yeah.
Like Daniel Ping.
Yeah, Daniel Ping, Junnim Ping.
Oh, now I get it because it's like a series of like Pokemon things.
Yeah,
and they
exactly.
all
They all
end
have
with
something
pings.
ping.
Oh.
Yeah.
So this is what I realized. Why are people like putting ping at the end of everything?
Ping.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the, I think, main teeny
So
pings.
their Pikachu is Hachu Ping.
Yeah, heart ping. Yeah, Hachu Ping, I think.
Oh, Hachu is heart.
I believe so. That's the etymology.
Oh, interesting.
June, if I pull up my phone and I go through my browser history, I keep one of the tabs open. Yeah. That's a list of all the teeny pings.
Aw, that's very endearing.
Well, I'm watching it with my kids sometimes, and I'm like, which one is that? And the crazy thing is they know.
Oh. Cool.
There are like hundreds of these. They know every single one.
They all look the same.
Well, it changes the color, their color, their wardrobe, and their skill, their power changes. Yeah. But
Your biggest weakness.
I'm a girl dad, June.
Differentiating between things.
Well, if you're only casually watching, right? Like basically every episode they introduce and have to catch a new teeny ping. Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised that in this realm of children's animated content, Korea is doing really well. Because like there was the penguin. What's it called? The penguin?
The penguin? Oh, Pingsu.
No, not Pingsu. Oh. The one with the glasses.
Pororo.
Oh, Pororo, yeah.
Your Korean level just went down. You don't know Pororo?
It's just because I don't have kids, that's why.
No,
Pororo. I knew Pororo.
Can you name the whole Pororo and Friends family? Like
no,
group?
of course not.
Not.
No, I only know Pororo. Oh, there's like the alligator.
You don't know Kurong? You don't know all of them?
I don't know any. I know there was one that was very trending recently.
You didn't grow up with Pororo.
Wait, there's a randomly trending Pororo character, which I just recently knew that was a Pororo character.
Randomly trending? Is it Poby, the polar bear?
No, the pink.
Oh, Loopy.
Oh, Loopy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is she trending? She is cute.
They like that character had like made like a spin-off and became like so I didn't even know is it a he or she?
It's a she.
Oh, Loopy, I didn't even know she was part of the Pororo gang.
Oh my gosh.
Because she was that popular. Anyways.
Pororo and Friends, June. I know them all. Yeah.
So and then there was like the whatever Baby Shark.
Yeah.
And there's also the
Baby Finn, the spin-off.
Pinkfong.
Pinkfong.
Yeah, they're all Korean.
Yes.
So,
but are these we were talking about Korean trends, right? Are these popular outside of Korea?
Baby Shark was like one of the most popular content in YouTube.
I admit for that.
Pinkfong is also very like globally popular thing. I heard.
See, I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know if Teeny Ping is, but what I'm saying is that Korea is really good at like these children content.
Are you saying before most Korean kids would be consuming, let's say, non-Korean content like Pokemon, right? Or like
maybe, Disney,
Sailor Moon or like other things. Yeah, but now they're actually able to consume Korean content. Okay. I'm surprised that this is bleeding over into you and your workplace now almost. Or like something ping.
I just saw it through social media where like chodings, like elementary school children, they call call themselves like each other something ping, something ping.
Okay. Yeah, teeny ping is huge in Korea.
Oh, interesting. Who made this?
Some evil marketing genius.
I don't know. Doesn't say. Oh, SAMG Entertainment. Oh, there's one more. Oh, well, I almost forgot this. This
Another
is a big
culture one?
Do you know? Do you know this meme called the chill guy?
No.
Okay, I don't know where it came from, and I know that it's not only Korean, but it is trending in Korea too.
Okay.
There's this kangaroo / capybara type of animated character.
Okay. The chill guy.
Yeah.
Look it up.
Yeah. Look up chill guy.
Meme.
And it's like...
Oh, yeah. I've not seen this before.
It's in sweats and like wearing this very comfy like sneakers or whatever. And it just looks super chill.
Yeah. It's trending in Korea?
I thought it was a Korean thing, but I realized after researching that it's like a global thing.
Yeah.
For some reason, it became like a poster child of like this chill demeanor, whatever, like be chill kind of. I see this everywhere and in social media these days, like chill. Like in Korea, it's like chill. Yeah,
this is very, you're right, it's very popular globally.
Yeah.
But in Korea too, this is also popular.
Yeah, chill guy. It's just like, these are one of the trends that I just don't get why it became a thing.
I'm just out of the loop because I browse a ton of internet. I mean, I consume a ton of internet content, but I haven't seen this one yet.
Chill guy. They even made it into a coin. Like a meme coin. Chill guy.
Are coins trending again, June, in Korea?
Not
particularly.
Really. Like it's never up to the level of the craze that it was before in like 2014, 15-ish. But anyways,
right,
the chill guy.
What's the last category you had?
It was finance. So it's a good transition.
Yeah.
So I think there are trends in like how people invest. So again, this is a great transition. In 2013, 14, it was all about like the coin. And then it went to like a real estate thing. Everyone was like, oh, why aren't you buying real estate? Why aren't you buying real estate?
Yeah.
And now that like real estate kind of like the price went so up that it's
inaccessible.
Kind of inaccessible. And it's also like the surge in price, like the trend kind of like plateaued a little bit. Everyone's like 미국 주식.
U.S. stock market?
Yeah. It was like 미국 주식.
Yeah.
That's all I hear. Everyone's like, why aren't you doing 미국 주식?
Yeah. I would have said, why weren't they doing that for the last 2 decades? But
I think it was less accessible before.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
It's super accessible now.
Yeah.
You can just open up whatever stock trading platform.
Like Korean stock trading platform.
Yeah.
And they let you buy U.S. securities.
Yeah.
Okay. Is one thing I seem to notice, like day trading. I feel like that appeals more to Koreans. Would you agree? So like buying and selling in rapid succession rather than, let's say, more traditional value investing, which you buy and hold, like a long-term outlook.
I think the way that people invest in stocks have matured over the years after like the trends and everything. And now I see a lot of people just value like
more value investing
as well. Yeah.
Buy and hold.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like accumulative, I know a lot of people, even in my social circle, they just like buy whatever VOO, QQQ every time they get
the diversified ETFs
every month. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I would say is mature, and sure, there's a lot of money to be made if you're trying to do day trading.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money to be lost too.
Yeah.
Which I feel like with Koreans and finance, they are all about the high risk, high reward.
Yeah.
Is my feeling. But it's good to hear there's more and more people doing, like, say, more low cost passive investing strategies. You know?
Yeah, but everyone's just talking about 미국 주식. But it's funny that even in financial investment, there's like very rapid trends in Korea that would change like almost in 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't know what the next thing would be in like 2 or 3 years.
Got it.
Yeah.
I would like to know too, because as far as my financial understanding, I think most Americans would agree, U.S. stock market is king. And so you put most of your eggs into that basket. And then if you want to diversify or if you want to just play with other more speculative things, let's say private equity, real estate investment trusts, whatever. Like there's other things you can get into. But yeah.
Yeah. Like for last year, all I can hear was like NVIDIA.
Oh, yeah. Oh, NVIDIA. Yeah. NVIDIA, Tesla. If you were in any of these, you would do really well. I have to shout out the current one, AppLovin. Have you heard of that?
AppLovin?
AppLovin. Yeah, no?
AppLovin?
Yeah.
No.
They're APP, I believe, on the stock market. Their ticker number.
Is it an ETF?
No. They're a small company. Their stock is up a crazy amount. But Jun, do you know what they do?
What do they do?
You don't play mobile games, right?
No.
So you wouldn't know. Oh my God. Anyone who plays mobile games, like the current trend in mobile games is you can watch a 30-second ad and then you can get some in-game reward.
I see.
Of course, you can pay real money to do that.
Oh, I know that. I know those.
These
it's so
things
annoying.
are a cancer.
Oh, so there's one company that does that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's super interesting.
Obviously, you can understand why they make infinite money now. But it's the cycle's so crazy because you play one game, then in the game you watch an ad that's targeting you for another game.
Yeah.
And that game itself has in-game ads for another game. And you just go down this rabbit hole. And so even my kids, right? They almost every week, I think I might have mentioned this before. They say there's like a new game that's trending amongst their school and all the kids go download it and then you move on to the next one. It's like infinite and they're all like kind of copies of each other.
Yeah.
There's nothing new.
Yeah.
They're all just time sinks. They're all like gacha / just like increasingly longer progress bar games.
Yeah. And
it is a cancer, man.
And a lot of the times the actual game looks nothing like that.
Oh yeah, that's so deceptive.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know what's up.
Oh, but
the company behind this is AppLovin, and they are up a stupid amount.
I am utterly amazed by the fact that it was operated by just one company. I thought it was like Google AdSense.
Yeah, they are the Google AdSense for in-app targeting now.
Oh, wow.
It's
cool.
They're the new meme stock. But here's the thing, they're not a meme stock. They are just, their business model is just insane. Yeah.
I also heard Oklo. Have you heard of Oklo?
Oklo. No. Are they a stock that's just booming?
They're like, they call themselves like advanced nuclear technology company.
Oh, wow.
And I think OpenAI or like Sam Altman himself, I don't know, like they view it as like the next gen fuel for powering AI.
I believe they're a nuclear company.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how much we should get into this stuff. Jun, one of these episodes, we should just do like tech deep dives.
Yeah.
I don't know if our audience would find it interesting, but I could talk about this stuff forever. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, to answer your question, basically US is in a big energy deficit, especially relative to China.
Yeah.
And a big part of that is because nuclear power is so regulated and kind of, it's seen as really bad or evil or dangerous in the US, whereas China and a lot of the rest of the world is fully embracing nuclear. It's cheap and it's generally safe and clean and very efficient. So US is just really behind on this. And I think a lot of hope is that US will start to invest more into nuclear.
Yeah.
But we're already way behind. Yeah. China's just leading in this like crazy. Yeah. So, and the reason why energy is so powerful is so important is that it's what is needed to power the data centers, which are powering AI and AI advancement and development. So, a big bottleneck for AI advancement is not only the chips, but the power to run the chips.
Yeah.
And then the data to train on. Like these are all important.
Yeah.
And US is just really behind in energy. So I think with Trump, a lot of people are expecting him to deregulate energy a ton. And maybe that's why Oklo is just a new darling stock, right?
The thing
but it's not up that much anyway.
Yeah, I was kind of researching all this like nuclear and like energy supply for AI for a bit, and I was like kind of planning on investing a little bit into like these diversifying into like very fundamental, like maybe even uranium mining companies or like Oklo. And then like all of a sudden like there was this news on DeepSeek and like all these energy companies plunged down like crazy. Yeah. I'm like kind of scared now.
Hey, June, no risk, no reward.
I should know better about how AI works.
Well, okay, yeah. The big question is whether you can trust exactly what DeepSeek had published.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were so disruptive because they had trained so good models with very low costs relative to what the US AI companies were releasing. But again, there's a lot of question marks, June, over whether you can trust what they said, how much computing power they had to train their models. So.
Yeah.
All right.
That was pretty much it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I wanted to transition into an article I came across that I found quite interesting.
Yes.
And I think our audience would too, which is the predicted trends in Korea in 2025. And when I brought this up, you were like, oh, that thing.
Yeah.
So maybe you can talk about this book or publication that is well known.
So I've never read this book myself, but it's famously known that every like beginning of the year, they publish this book called Trend Korea.
Very on the nose.
Yeah. So it's like, if it's 2025, it's like 2025 Trend Korea. And it just lists all the predicted trends that would go on of that year.
Okay.
Which sometimes I feel like they forcefully just coin.
Yeah.
And doesn't really trend. But
okay.
But
it's
I
so
think
fun. Yeah.
but I think they have gained some credibility.
Yeah.
Just by knowing the fact that they publish every year, and it's on like one of the best sellers every year.
Yeah.
Every like January, if you go into a bookstore, it's like listed on one of their best sellers. So they might have some insights and credibility. So yeah, we're gonna go through that.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know if these are all directly pulled from that, but we'll be going based off of a. Let me find the article. Korea Herald article.
Yeah.
And it had referenced the Trends Korea 2025 book as well in it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go through these, but I have to find it first. Okay. We'll link this article in the show notes as well. It's from the Korea Herald. And yeah, all right, let's go one by one. June, the first trend that this article is talking about is value over price.
Value over price.
So this year, consumers are predicted to hold back on splurging and instead open up their wallets for value consumption. Value consumption refers to purchasing decisions focused on one's priorities, personal values, and beliefs rather than convenience or price. So that's a little weird. Priorities, personal values, and beliefs rather than convenience or price. Okay, anyway. I thought this was maybe a move away from the luxury spending.
I think so.
But this is actually saying it's more putting my money into things I believe in and maybe the brand and what it stands for more than the price of the good itself.
I think it's just like a sugarcoating way of saying I can't afford to buy expensive stuff anymore.
Okay.
Don't you think?
I mean, specifically, it says like, okay, a continued rise in climate change awareness is also pushing consumers to make more environmentally responsible purchases by trying to opt for eco-friendly and sustainable products as well.
Do you really think so? In Korea, I've never.
This is what I want to ask you.
Yeah,
yeah.
I've never met anyone personally who are saying like, "Oh, it's for the environment."
Yeah.
I think Korean people tend to care less about the environment compared to the US.
For example, here's a good one. Fast fashion. Does that have a very negative stigma in Korea? No. Not for being cheap, but because it's so bad for the environment?
It's not a prevalent.
That's what I would think too. Yeah. Or like if you just look at the use of single-use plastics in Korea. Oh, there was legislation passed recently that limits the amount of single-use plastic or non-reusable items like in hotels or whatever. But yeah, I don't get this feeling as widespread.
Yeah.
Okay. So you see this more as a shift away from luxury goods and more towards like practical things?
Specifically in Korea, I think. Because I personally, I never felt that sentiment of environmental friendly that much. It's just all about, it's a combination of like how many people just like spent during like the excess money that they had from COVID. Combined with the fact that like the economic status of like the Korean landscape right now, like I'm kind of amazed how irresponsibly people just spent money during COVID.
I see.
And now it's like it was like inevitable.
It's catching up now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this article states 62.4% of survey respondents, which they don't give too many details on that.
Yeah.
They said they were willing to spend more on environmentally sustainable products.
I mean, if someone asks, right, I would say that too.
Okay, but remains to be seen if they're going to put their money where their mouth is.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, next one. The report also forecasts the decline or fall of YOLO. So you only live once, which is, I think, what you were referring to during COVID. Okay, let's just like spend this money on whatever. Instead, it's replaced with YONO.
Oh, yeah.
You only need one lifestyle. So this article claims the YONO trend encourages consumers to reduce unnecessary spending. And this will dominate their 2025 focus on practicality. All right, what do you think?
Yeah, it's again in line with the former one.
Yeah.
Like you don't have money to spend anymore.
You only need one.
And and you're just branding it saying like, oh, I'm on the YONO trend.
I see.
I guess. Yeah.
What's a good example
of a YONO trend?
Do you think they're not going to buy an iced Americano every day after lunch?
I think they still do.
How about fashion? Do you think they won't opt for the latest fashion trends and like, oh, I can wear last year's fashions one more year?
No.
So what's a practical application of YONO?
I don't know. What was something that people's like bought multiple things, now they just only buy one? I don't know.
All right, this one also remains to be seen. Okay, this one I'm very interested in, Jun. I'm suspicious of this one too.
Yeah.
Skeptical. I'm skeptical of this one too. It says, text tip. Riding high on the wave of Nobel laureate Han Kang's literature win, the so-called text tip trend, the idea that reading is cool and fashionable, will also continue this year. 26.4% of... Wait, that's low. 26.4% of respondents saying they have an interest in reading. Oh my God. Why do Koreans hate reading so much? It's so weird.
When they really love text, right?
No, also when they just like love knowledge and like almost pride themselves and hate ignorance, right? Why do they not love reading books?
That's an interesting point. I don't know why.
Do they have trauma from schooling when they just had to study?
Can I just make a very quick observation?
Yeah.
I think Koreans always go for efficiency and something quick. And I think reading is like a very fundamental way of gaining knowledge with a lot of depth, but it isn't efficient.
Yeah.
In terms of like how much time and energy that you have to put into. And in that sense, I think maybe it doesn't really resonate with the Korean public sentiment.
It's anti-pali-pali culture.
It's anti-pali-pali.
Yeah. It's slow.
Yeah, it is slow.
I brought this point up last time. So you'd agree with that. That's probably the main driver here.
But you would also agree that it's a global trend.
To read less.
Yeah. Because like everyone's on their phone these days.
You know what's interesting? I think definitely with the younger generation, okay, they have short attention spans. Everything's on demand. They can just change the channel, change streaming, whatever. But at least for me and my age demographic, I feel like reading is still very much a deeply important part of our lifestyle, culture, whatever. So a lot of my friends, they read a ton. They publish, reviews on the books they read.
Yeah.
They're reading a book a week, a book a month. Like it's pretty ubiquitous still. Okay, maybe not ubiquitous, but I'd say it is still very widespread and common, at least for my generation. And that's what I'm so maybe confused about. Was leisurely reading never a thing in Korea? And therefore, like, why do maybe if younger people aren't reading, I could understand that.
Yeah.
But people our age or older, I don't see them reading. None of them are reading. No one reads books.
Personally, there's like one thing that bothers me when it comes to reading in Korea is that I think you guys have a luxury in terms of like most of the written content in the world is published in English.
Yeah.
And when it comes to Korea, it's either translated or just not available.
Very good point.
When I sometimes I want to read like Wittgenstein.
What? Who's that?
Or like I want to read Kant, for instance.
Okay.
Like a German philosopher.
I don't know who that is, but I knew it was a famous philosopher.
It is so, like, the way that it's translated is so difficult to understand.
Into Korean.
Because it's translated. And it's like philosophy, like books on philosophy is very highbrow to begin with.
Yeah.
But I find it much easier to read in English than in Korean.
Korean, interesting.
Yeah. So,
even though your Korean skills are superior to your English skills, due to the translation quality, English is still easier for you to consume.
Yeah, it's so difficult to understand when it's translated.
Interesting. Yeah.
That might be one factor.
Growing up, Jun, did you have to read a lot of books in school? Was that a huge part of your curriculum?
No, not at all.
Did you have to read any books growing up? Like novels, right? Like not textbooks.
In elementary school, they force you to write the so-called 독후감.
Yeah.
Like you had to write your interpretation.
A book report.
Book report. That's what it's called.
Only in elementary school?
Only in elementary school.
What?
I believe. Yeah.
Wait, so there is no standard Korean literature curriculum growing up?
Literature?
Yeah, Korean literature.
I mean, it's in somewhat incorporated in Korean classes, but not a dedicated literature class.
Okay, I mean, for me, throughout my entire schooling, elementary, middle school, high school, like the idea of reading a book, doing an interpretation, writing a book report, that was just a staple of my education. It was like reading and book reports and math. Those are like the staples of American education.
Oh, it's definitely not designed that way in Korea.
Wow, that's a huge difference.
Yeah,
maybe that drives this too, because you aren't used to reading growing up. Does the Sunyoung have any... So I guess the US SATs also don't have this. So I was going to ask if the Sunyoung has anything related to Korean literature, but... You know, a lot of American English reading curriculum is based on like the English classics too, like Charles Dickens, whatever. Yeah. So I could imagine Koreans might study a lot of maybe Chinese texts or something like that. I mean, none of that.
All Korean, but again, it's incorporated in Korean class, not a dedicated Korean literature class.
This is so crazy to me. I think the implications of this, Jun, are just like very widespread.
Yeah.
You know, Koreans love to learn from the people they idolize, right? Which may be like Bill Gates or Warren Buffett. They all say one of the things they point to the most in their success is long form reading. They just sit and read for 2 hours. Interesting. Okay. All right. So do you think this is going to change in Korea with Hangang? Do you think you'll see more people reading?
No, they're just consuming through a trend. Like, Hangang, whatever. They won this like amazing award, so maybe I should read Hangang. But I don't think it's gonna lead to a very substantial trend of people reading more.
Slow, leisurely, reading for pleasure, hobbies.
Yeah, it's like when Parasite won the Academy.
Yeah,
I mean everyone went there to watch Parasite. It was so interesting because my parents live in like a 시골 area, and there's like the
one theater,
that 경로당, that the elderly community center. They screen Parasite there, and I'm sure that these people never watch movies ever, but they're just watching it. But did it lead to a trend in like people watching more movies? No. So I think it's similar.
I'll be surprised if this happens too. So I don't see. I can't agree that this trend will happen, but I'm hopeful. I think leisurely reading is a great thing. Okay, let's move on. Next one, embracing happiness. And I think this one is directly...
By the way, this is not directly related at all to the actual 2025 trend Korea keywords.
Okay, we'll go over that after. I was gonna say this one though, Jun, is because this is specifically referring to aboha.
Aboha is one keyword.
Which is this Korean term meaning a very ordinary day. What is the Korean aboha?
아주 보통의 하루.
Okay, so this is a 줄임말, or a shortening of, basically everyday, regular everyday. It's exactly this, a very ordinary day.
It's kind of sad.
This encourages people to embrace the mundane and ordinary. Especially resonating with people seeking respite in daily life. So this was predicted in Trend Korea 2025. written by Kim Ran-do, a professor of consumer science at Seoul National University.
Yeah.
So let's talk about aboha.
Yeah, I've never heard of this term, and I think they maybe just like made it up.
They're trying to make fetch happen.
Yeah, it's kind of 아주 보통의 하루 just literally means a very normal, ordinary day. And it says that people would be more willing to be satisfied with just having a very ordinary day. You don't strive for your everyday to be super exciting or happy. It's just if you had an ordinary day, that's good enough.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of sad. It's because nothing recently that happens in Korea is so happy and exciting. So like people are just adjusting to it and saying like just having an ordinary life with nothing extremely bad happening is already a good thing. Yeah. So in that sense, I feel that it's kind of sad.
So your take on this is that this is a reaction to not having good ordinary days.
That's how I feel.
I see. I would say again, maybe Korea sees things with a glass half empty perspective, which I'm interested in your take on that.
Yeah.
But the glass half full perspective is like, okay, every day, even if it's ordinary, is a special day, and something good happens that you can appreciate. You're alive. You're eating food. Yeah. It tastes good. You're healthy. You can exercise.
You can have amazing coffee.
You can have amazing coffee
instantly,
and that makes your day, right? Like, is that not enough? So, yeah, you see it as a sad thing, but do you think this will actually infiltrate the Korean psyche, and they can start to see every normal, ordinary day as a good thing?
I mean, I wish that people can interpret this in a good way, in a positive way, and start like not eagerly seeking for like very stimulating excitement every day. But this was always a thing in Korea. Like for instance, a few years ago there was this buzzword called 소확행. 소소하지만 확실한 행복.
No, never heard of it. Yeah.
Things that are very menial purchases, but gives you
happiness, joy, 행복.
Yeah, but that is guaranteed to give you happiness. Kind of like buying like a little piece of like chocolate. That's like 소확행.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
It's like taking the little wins, right?
But it's kind of like giving up on like trying to. Yeah.
You have to paint everything in contrast to the negative, right? I never see it that way.
I mean, there is a sense of that, no? Because it's so difficult. It's so difficult to reach that level of your extravagant life, getting satisfaction with what you have, which is, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but juxtaposing with the current atmosphere of what Korea is right now, it kind of like gives me a sentiment of like people kind of gave up.
You know, when I hear that though, I don't have to add in the extra part. Yeah. So maybe an English translation, an American translation would be the simple pleasures.
Yeah.
It's like it's a bite of chocolate, you know, ice cold lemonade on a hot summer's day, right? Like those are the things that I feel like this is talking about. But it never in my mind is contrasted or next to, well, I'm enjoying the ice cold lemonade on a hot summer's day because I can't afford an air conditioned mansion.
I just want to be clear because it's so it's such a sharp contrast with the recent years of like people doing like whatever hotel ho캉스 and like they go to like whatever buying luxury bags and now they're saying like 아주 보통의 하루. It almost feels like I spent too much money and I can't do that anymore.
I see. Back to the simple life.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's why I think I keep on seeing it in a kind of like a sad
It's always in contrast to where Korea was heading.
Yeah.
Got it. This next one is maybe in the similar vein, Jun. It talks about the 1 point up trends, which focuses on small, easy to reach goals, which take center stage as people continue to find value in the simple everyday aspects. So yeah, just like, just small achievements rather than like huge milestones or things that you are, I guess, can make other people jealous. I don't know. It's just like if you can run a little bit faster today than yesterday, right? Just celebrating the small wins. What do you think about this trend?
Isn't it the same with aboha?
No, okay. Aboha is like again, ice cold lemonade on a hot summer's day.
Yeah, that's a
aboha.
Small success.
No, but there's not like a small improvement here. I think 1 Point Up is specifically focused on very small, achievable, incremental improvements. Right? Like, oh, I saved
again,
my first
because you can't make that big achievement.
But I do see it different from aboha. I think aboha is more about just enjoying the simple things in life, whereas this one is celebrating the very easy, maybe achievable wins. Because I think before, okay, let's just say this: save my first $100, or save my first $1,000, right? Do you think before Koreans might have been embarrassed to share that because it's not a big thing? Like, who cares? Everyone can do that. Versus, I think that this trend is saying, like, no, celebrate that and feel good about that, even though it might not be, oh, this is good. Okay, I see this one as comparing your life against yourself rather than comparing your life to others.
Oh, I think that's never going to happen. Sorry.
So Koreans can never feel good about my life. I'm a little bit better, 1% better than I was yesterday, even if I'm 50% behind my peers.
I mean, they'll try to do that.
But they can't really enjoy and celebrate that.
That's how I feel, honestly.
It's too comparison focused.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, this article is predicting
sorry to shed like a negative shadow on everything that you say.
1 Point Up. Yeah. No, you're not shedding a negative. I think it's a realistic take on this article. Okay, physicality appeal is another keyword.
That one's in the keyword.
Okay. Is there a Korean? What's this a translation of?
It says 물성 매력.
Okay.
Oh, it's directly translated physicality appeal.
Okay, this is saying this trend highlights the value of tangible real-world experiences in an increasing digital and virtual world. So this suggests people will prioritize real sensory and emotional connection over virtual experiences.
It's almost like the anti-metaverse movement.
What do you think about this?
I don't know if it's like a current trend.
Yeah.
I kind of see that because when I go to Seongsu-dong, I mentioned before, there's so many pop-up stores.
Yeah. So get out, shop,
yeah,
meet people,
like
see people.
actually touch the thing and then feel it.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, people are going to be fed up with like all these virtual things, right?
Yeah.
Like metaverse was such a trend like 3-4 years ago when everything was virtual. And people are like maybe like kind of fed up with that, understanding that way. Like it's so much better to like actually go to that place and, you know. I think that eventually metaverse is going to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The sensory thing.
Yeah.
But I love this. I mean, especially like having a thing with architecture and stuff, like the actual like the spatiality that you can feel and like the physicality and everything. I think I don't necessarily see this being a trend per se, but if this becomes a trend, I would be happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't necessarily see this happening in Korea.
I think trend, like the very fundamental reason for trend Korea is that they're predicting.
I see. Yeah.
They're not observing. So yeah.
Okay. But would you predict that this would happen?
Ah, interesting.
Right? Yeah, that's my question. Are Koreans going to touch more grass than last year? I mean, that's a common internet thing in American forums. It's like, you just need to go out and touch grass. Like, get away from your keyboard. Breathe in nature, soil. Like, just get out there. Yeah. Take a hike.
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
Good.
Yeah.
Maybe also we talked about it's just like the lingering impact of COVID is finally blowing over.
Yes.
And, you know, people are just going out and enjoying the environment more. Okay. The next one is just obviously AI is here to stay. Personalization. You know, this is really interesting. I don't know if we should get into this now. You know, June, when we first started working together, I think we had a pretty interesting discussion that stuck with me, which is I felt like, why isn't AI more prevalent in Korean technology? Specifically personalization and customization. So maybe a recommendation engine, maybe personalizing your feed to your particular tastes.
Yeah.
And then you're like, because you don't need this in Korea. Everyone's the same.
Yeah.
We all like the same things.
Exactly.
We all value the same things, right? So you don't need to personalize or customize. I don't know where I'm going with this, but do you think that, from that perspective, Korea's becoming more diverse and like more like maybe that personalization and customization and AI-driven recommendation engines are becoming more and more critical in Korea?
So you're asking if the AI technology is driving people to be more individualistic?
Oh, yeah. Or do you think that the AI needs to become more advanced to meet the consumer needs of being more, let's say, diversified in their needs and wants? Because obviously this is talking about, ChatGPT and like integrating AI into your life more. But it's just recalling a very early conversation we had maybe 2 years ago about why just these AI-driven recommendation engines are not as important in Korea as like the US, for example.
I think Korea, if you think about Korea 50 years ago and where we are right now, I think definitely the trend is that it's becoming a more individualistic society. And individualistic society means that like people are more individualistically different.
Yeah.
So we are moving to that direction, but it would never, I don't want to say never, it would take a long time to reach that level of individualistic idiosyncrasy that America has, because it's such a melting pot. People are coming from many different races and many different cultures. Whereas if we still maintain this societal structure where everything is still homogenous, maybe race or culture and everything, it's still going to be very less important.
Yeah.
Customization is kind of tricky when it comes to AI, I think. Is because the very nature of AI is kind of like everything is done by the AI and it's doing it for you. And that sometimes it clashes with customization. Because at the AI technology that we have access to right now still can never reach the level of like, this is perfectly customized for me.
I see.
So then what happens is that you have to incorporate more manually customizable options to your UI.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And that at that point, it's not even an AI product anymore.
Yeah.
So that level of balance is kind of tricky.
Yeah. You're saying a fully AI powered, magical, you don't need to give it any input, itemized input, let's say. It just knows you. Versus like old school customization is like, check off the boxes you want to see. And you're saying those are clashing.
So I think one of the classic debates that we're having in the office right now is that the US team always asks for like those very traditional customization. You'll have to be able to like swap the orders in the list or like manually delete this or something. And the Korea team's like, now it just feels like a normal app now.
I mean, I think TikTok clearly showed. Users just want something given to them if it's good enough, if the quality and targeting is good enough.
So anyways. So going back to your question, I still think Korea is less fond of or like less in need of like hyper customization because everyone's pretty much the same. That's why I think Naver search results are never or like Naver ads are never targeted.
I see.
It's like this banner that like the whole population sees.
No, I don't believe you. They have to be targeted.
Maybe now, but for very like surprisingly up until
it's
very
like
recent.
The Yahoo ads. Like one ad, 100% of people get it. That's crazy. That's like late 1990s technology. Anyway, just to wrap this up, quote, according to Forbes, AI trends to watch in 2025. AI-powered personalization will also become sharper and more deeply integrated into our lives. But I think, again, I would agree. This is maybe less so in Korea. Okay, this last one is a fun one because we've talked about it a ton. Fashion. This article says it predicts in 2025 athleisure or casual outfits inspired by sportswear is back, according to Huretech. This is not Korea specific. Okay, anyway, just to finish, a tech company that predicts fashion trends. And then they also said red is back.
Red is back?
Cherry chic.
Cherry chic.
So cherry prints or dark shades of red. And then the final one, this article again, it says the return of double denim.
Like the top down.
Also known as the Canadian tuxedo. You don't see it, so I'll be interested to see if I do see it more and more in the coming year.
There's a word for that in Korea.
Double denim? What is it?
청청 fashion.
청청, jean fashion. This was super popular growing up for me. I remember in high school, all the cool kids had the denim top. they matched it with the denim pants, and I never had one. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
But you had like the bright neon
yellow Abercrombie jacket. Yeah. That was the only cool item I've ever owned in my life. Yeah. What do you think? Denim is going to make a comeback in Korea?
I think it already did a couple of years ago.
It already came and went, you think?
But denim is kind of tricky because you have to wear it really well for it to look good.
Yeah, if it's off at all, it looks a little weird. It has to match perfectly.
So I think it's always the very fashionable people
who can pull it off.
Who even attempt to do that, maybe. Yeah.
I will never, I don't think ever wear a denim jacket. So. But you're right. It's because I don't feel cool enough. Yeah, I think you really have to be cool.
You have to be very intentional of what you're doing. Yeah.
All right, Jun. Anything from the actual Trends Korea 2025 book you want to cover before we wrap?
Oh yeah, I'll just like go very quickly.
Yes,
and I think some of them you already mentioned in your article. Yeah. But number one is, so there are 10 points.
Okay.
10 keywords.
Yeah.
Omnivore.
Omnivore, like eating meat and vegetables.
Yeah, but so it says like the categorization of what kind of like cohort purchases certain things in a certain trend is becoming blurry. Like everyone's like young people can buy what traditionally like old people buy, and like everyone's just like buying many different things.
So this is in line with more individualism.
Yeah.
So preferences crossing traditional, let's say, demographical norms. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Number 2 is aboha. We already mentioned that. Number 3 is topping economy, which I mentioned in my observation. It's the 꾸미는, like the decorating economy.
Okay. Yeah.
Like putting
the
like
toppings.
Little,
I like that. Toppings in your life.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Like 가구, 가방 꾸미기, 폰꾸, like decorating your phone, 신구, like decorating your shoes.
Okay.
Stuff like that. Next one's called face tech.
It's like skincare.
It's like so like putting a face on technology. I think it kind of goes hand in hand with like humanoid robots and like
AI.
Having displays that have like facial expressions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like putting more humanistic characters to technology is what they say. I like this one, number 5, 무해력, power of harmlessness.
Okay, what's this referring to? Like, don't let things get to you if it's not a big deal?
Like things are not too stimulating. It's just like very calm. You know how like that panda pubao?
Yeah.
Like a trend thing.
Yeah.
And I think the appeal of like pandas is that they're so harmless.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to make this connection to the chill guy.
Yeah.
Like he looks very
chill.
like chill, not harmless kind of. And I think this is kind of like a backlash of like so many stimulating, over the top, weird content that you see every day on TikTok and stuff like that.
And it's related to getting away from the metaverse and digital experiences and more like in real life.
Yeah, getting more into like less harmful things. 무해력.
Do you think does this also encompass the idea of just like chilling out in general? Like don't get so worked up over every last thing?
I think so.
Okay.
Kind of.
Cool.
Yeah,
just
related
chill out.
To that. Yeah.
Okay.
They come up with the weirdest word. Number 6 called gradation K. So they're saying with the advent of multicultural families these days in Korea.
Okay, small but growing, yeah.
They're saying like what it means for Koreanness, that borderline is becoming more blurred. It's like having more multicultural families combined with the fact that now K culture is such a prevalent thing, it becomes like a more like vague borderline.
Is the spirit of this trying to be more inclusive of what is considered Korean? Is that part of it? Or it's just really blurring the lines of what is Korean and not Korean?
I think it's more of the latter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on.
It says 전통과 글로벌 문화가 혼합되어 새로운 K 컬처가 만들어지고 있다.
Yeah.
It's like the more traditional Korean culture and like the global culture becomes like mixed together.
Okay.
Like this coffee.
Yeah.
Like it's a latte, but it's a Korean latte.
Yeah.
It's more like gradation K.
Jun, I feel like the Koreans just want it one way. Like they want to push Korean culture into more things.
Yeah.
But they don't want to be more inclusive of other things being considered Korean culture, if that makes sense.
Ah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Like, will they be more accepting of me as a ethnically Korean but raised in America, Korean American?
Mm-hmm.
And will they just continue to say like, just drop the Korean, you're just American, forget it? Yeah.
That's definitely the sentiment that I'm getting currently, right?
Yeah, I know. What I'm saying is, hopefully, I was hoping what you just said would mean Koreans will also be more inclusive of things and considering those things Korean, if that makes sense.
Oh.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like Koreans just want it one way. Like, okay, you can adopt Korean culture, like push out Korean culture into everything. K this, K that, right?
Yeah.
But will they be more accepting of others as saying, oh yeah, like now you're Korean because you're doing this?
That's a very interesting point. I'm trying to find a good example of that happening in Korea.
Yeah. Yeah, here's the classic example, maybe. Like, okay, they want Korean actors and actresses to infiltrate Hollywood, Bollywood, like global media, go out there.
Yeah.
But will they be more accepting of, okay, if 5 non-Koreans are in a group in Korea, and calling them a K-pop group? Does that make sense? Or like having foreigners take on more roles in Korean media. And let's say like a foreigner like grew up in Korea. He's just as Korean. Would he ever be just as Korean as an ethnically Korean growing up in Korea? Does that make sense? Yeah.
They would never be just as Korean because their race is different. Yeah. And that's how homogenous the society is in terms of race. Yeah. There are like anomalies that I one person that I can think of is this comedian called Sam Hemington. Things like he's Australian. But he started off his like career as a comedian here in Korea. Yeah. And like he's everywhere. And so I think people would consider him as a Korean public personality, but never as a Korean.
See, yeah, I think that's the difference. Yeah. Like they just want to push Korean culture, but they won't be willing to accept others as Korean.
Yeah. Gradiating outwards and never inside.
I mean, just the contrast, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I know America's unique and different.
Yeah.
But all it means to be American, I think, is to either be born in America, raised in America, or to identify as American, right? Believing in individual freedoms. Like, that's what makes you American.
Yeah.
I take great offense if someone to say, but you don't look American, right? Yeah. Anyway, that's like a lifelong struggle, But
I also want to, kind of defend Korea by saying that that's also very uniquely American.
I get it.
There's no country in the world that is.
UK is close, I think. They're pretty mixed and cosmopolitan, I feel like. But maybe just those. I mean, I don't know. France, Europe, most of Western Europe might be like that.
But not to the extent of the US.
America?
Yeah.
I've never been, so I can't say.
But that's a very good point. Okay.
Let's finish this.
Number 7, we already covered it. Physicality appeal, 물성 매력.
Okay.
Number 8 is climate sensibility, 기후 감수성.
Okay, which is what we talked about. Yeah, so being more aware of climate issues.
Yeah. Do you think this is going to be a trend with like especially the Trump administration?
In the US?
Yeah. He's pushing for a lot of like
less regulation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
He like ditched the Paris whatever climate.
The climate accord. He left. Didn't Biden bring us back?
Yeah, and then he left again. It's such a joke.
Yeah.
I don't even know what this means. Number 9 says 공진화 전략. Maybe it makes more sense in English. Co-evolution strategy.
I mean, that means nothing to me. Co-evolution strategy.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. It's like don't necessarily. It says I'm just reading off the article. It says not necessarily differentiating me with the enemy, and like coexisting kind of strategy.
Less polarization.
It says like one good example is how like Apple uses OpenAI to power their Apple intelligence.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I do believe integration of, let's say, technologies blurring lines there makes more sense. Yeah, I agree with that.
Number 10. Oh, this is the one that you mentioned. It says one point up.
Yeah, 1 point up.
1 point up. Yeah.
I love that meme, June. Not meme, but it's like whatever, 1.01 to the power of 365, right? It's some stupid large number.
Yeah.
So basically saying if you're 1% better than your previous self every single day, by the end of the year, it'll be something, I'll look it up again, but I really love that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, June, what do you think? 1.01 to the power of 365, what does that equal? Don't think too hard.
120%?
Oh, no. 37.78. Yeah. So if you're just 1% better than your previous self, June, every single day this year, you'll be 37 times better by the end of the year.
It makes me feel more
inspired,
hopeful,
right?
Inspired and hopeful about the trend. I hope it happens.
1 point up.
Yeah. I think I was being too cynical
throughout the entirety of... Do you think most Koreans are glass half empty people? I think so. They see the downside more than the upside.
But it's like the risk averse.
Exactly. Yeah. They see the risk, so that makes them risk averse.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's the end of our trends episode and the conclusion of our first ever PPL. Thank you, Kimley Park.
Thank you, Kimley Park, for this amazing product and coffee.
So good.
Yeah.
And their merch is super cute.
They are. I think they're really into their branding.
As always, if you'd like to support our podcast, the best thing you can do is share us with a friend. Anyone you know that might want to listen to our episode, please give them a little nudge. The second thing you can do is support us on Patreon. For the minimum tier of $1 a month, you can get access to our exclusive Discord where you can discuss the current episode, propose future episode topics, and just connect with other fans of the podcast.
Yeah, you don't only have to converse in English, because I just created a Talking Korean channel, which is very not lively at the moment, but we'll get there.
Yeah, I might start posting there because, June, I'm more serious about my Korean learning this year. So.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Did you get a tutor?
I guess you could call him that. Okay. Since last episode, we have 2 new Patreons. First up, Julia. Thank you, Julia.
I think Julia is my good old friend.
Chinese.
Yes.
Ah, thank you, Julia.
School. Thank you, Julia.
And thank you to Che. We're not including last names just because we feel like it might be a little private, but...
Okay.
Thank you, Che.
Thank you, Che.
And that concludes our episode. Thanks to everyone again for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye. No, but you had some interesting takes on this.
I just love that we're being sponsored by this brand, Kimley Park, because I feel like it's very on theme for our podcast.
Oh, yes.
Right? You know, their coffee is the perfect mix of all the ingredients you need in one simple packet.
Oh.
Just like, I feel like we aim every episode to perfectly blend our 2 cultures into one.
Wow.
Easy to digest podcast episode.